All right, welcome back, kids. Now, the last couple weeks, we've talked about not fearing or fear, and we've talked about joy. Now, how are we able to do that? How are we able to say, I'm not going to be afraid, and I choose to be joyful? How do we do that? We talked about it the first week. We speak the word, right? We speak the word. So I'm going to read you something, and it's in Psalms 91, verse 2, where I'm going to start at. And it says, "This I declare about the Lord. He is my refuge, my safe place. He is my God, and I trust him. For he will rescue me from every trap and protect me from every deadly disease. He will cover me with his feathers. He will shelter me with his wings. His faithful promises are my armor and my protection. I do not need to be afraid of the terrors of the night, nor the arrows that fly by the day. I do not dread the disease that stalks in the darkness, nor the disaster that strikes at midday. And though thousands may fall at my side, and 10,000s are lying around me, the evils will not touch me." And then in verse 10 it says, "No evil will conquer me, no plague will be near my home, for he will order his angels to protect me wherever I go. And he will hold me in their hand, so I won't even hurt my foot upon a stone." That right there is how we do this. And then I have another question, but I want to read you something else too. And then I go over to Psalms 94 and verse 22. It says almost the same thing. It says, "But the Lord is my fortress, and my God is my mighty rock where I hide." So, you have all these people telling different things and saying different things, and you can kind of get scared and kind of get overwhelmed, right? We can kind of get down in the mully grubs. Woe is me. But we need to go to God as our refuge. What's a refuge? Does anybody know what a refuge is? Any guesses? What do you think a refuge is? Morgan, what do you think? A safe, yep, that's a really good, safe place. A shelter? A fort? You know how I equate this? So what happens if you're out playing, and this is more for littler kids too, but I think some of the older kids probably do it still sometimes, but you're out playing and you get hurt. What do? When you're really upset and you really hurt something, where do you go? Yeah, but where do you go? Where do you go when you're hurt? Where do you go for comfort? Mom or dad, right? You go to mom or dad, right? Because why? They're your comfort. They're your refuge. They're your safe place. And we can go to God the same way. God, I'm scared. God, I hurt. God, I'm afraid. And you can go to him and you can say, "Comfort me." And he will. So, when you're afraid, when you're scared, when you're anything, just go to God and say, "God, I need to talk to you. Hold me." And he will. Because he is our what? Our refuge. He is our safe place. Right? And we can choose joy. And we can go to him. How do we go to God? I guess that's a good question. How do we go to God? There's different ways that we can go to him. What's one way that we can go to God? Pray. You can pray. What's another way? What do you think, Dylan? Is there a way that we can go to God other than praying? Yeah, but how do we communicate with him? Sky? Praise and worship. And that's kind of the topic of the hour, right? That's what we've been talking about. That's what Pastor Larry's been talking about, right? We praise and worship. So we can pray. We can go to him in our quiet time. And we can get up and stomp our feet and praise the Lord, right? So remember that, guys. He is our refuge and our strength. And it says in Psalm 91, He will protect us. He will cover us like a chicken covers her hen or her chicks with her wings. You know, we are His kids, and He will protect us.
So we have a little special for you guys. We want your bodies to be healed, healthy, and whole during this. So we're going to give you a little song that we have learned. It is spreading all over our house now, because everybody knows this. And it will just keep you in the Word, because we're going to speak to our bodies, and they have to listen. So, ready? Are you ready? Sit up nice.
Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well. Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well.
I'm so glad that every little cell in my body is happy and well. I'm so glad every little cell in my body is happy and well. Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well. Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well. I'm so glad every little cell in my body is happy and well.
I'm so glad every little cell in my body is happy and well.
There you have it. I hope you guys sing it in your house.
All right, everybody. I'm Mr. Joe. Hi, Mr. Joe. No, I don't usually do much in the kids anymore, but help. But I don't know. I just had something on my heart that I'm going to share with everybody. We're talking about refuge and fear and joy and all that stuff. But I'm going to tell you another way, another facet of that maybe to do so that you can know how to make God your refuge. Okay, Mr. Tim read to you guys Psalm 91, okay? And 1,000 may fall at our side and 10,000 at our right hand, and it shall not come near us. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys, give you an idea how to make Psalm 91 work for you, okay? And I'm reading out of the New King James Version. So, Psalm 91 verse 1 says, He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide, that means live, under the shadow of the Almighty, okay? And in verse 2, watch this. It says, I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him will I trust. That's what we say, okay? And then go down to verse 5, it says, You shall not be afraid of the terror by night, and then it goes on to list all of the things we are not to be afraid of. Now, my statement to you is going to be, Psalm 91 has two parts for us to do in it, to activate it for us, okay? The first one is that we will say of the Lord. And what do we say? We say, Lord, you are my refuge and my fortress. My God, in you I will trust, okay? That's part one. We say of the Lord, okay? Part two is, in verse 5, we shall not be afraid. And you're going to say, Mr. Joe, everybody gets afraid. That's impossible. What you're confused with here, and this, I had to be taught this too. Just because you feel afraid, you guys, does not mean that you are afraid. You can have feelings of fear. You can have goosebumps all up and down your arms. Your knees can be bumping. The hair on the back of your neck, well, I don't have any. Well, it's on the back of my neck, but not on the top of my head. But if it was standing up, I mean, you can feel all this fear. But the secret to not actually being afraid is don't give in to those feelings. You say of the Lord, Lord, you are my refuge and my fortress, my God, in you I will trust, and I will not be afraid. You refuse to be afraid because fear is faith in the devil. Let me show you one example of what fear gets you. It's over in Job chapter 3. Everybody knows about Job because everybody thinks, there's a lot of misconceptions about Job. He was the richest man in the world, and then in one day, all of his kids died, all of his livestock ran off, and he became sick with all these nasty sores, and his wife told him to just curse God and die. But God did not put that on him. I'm going to show you a consequence here. It says in Job 3:25, this is why what happened to Job happened to Job. It says, this is Job talking now, for the thing I greatly feared has come upon me, and what I dreaded has happened to me. See, when Job feared and dreaded, he opened the door for the devil to come in and do all that stuff in it to him, okay? That's the explanation for Job. So, if you fear, bad things can happen to you. That's why don't give in to your fear. It's so important, you guys, okay? Now, if you've already given in to fear and things have happened to you, there's a way out. Because if you keep reading Job, at the end of the chapter, or at the end of the book, he repented of his fear, and God restored him and gave him even more. Job was like a billionaire. He would be a billionaire in today's money and currency and all that stuff. So, when you make God your refuge, okay, this is a napkin. It's a little crumpled up. If I just put this napkin in this pitcher of water, what's going to happen? It's going to get soaked up and be a mess, right? But I will say of the Lord, Lord, you are my refuge and my fortress, my God, in you I will trust, and I will not be afraid. No matter if 1,000 people on one side of me have COVID-19 and 10,000 on my right hand have it, it shall not come near me. Even though it's all around me. Is the water all around this? This is real water, okay? I don't know if you can see the droplets. So, I have made the Lord my refuge and my fortress. My God, in him I have trusted, and I am not afraid. Okay? Love you guys.
Okay, you guys, we are going to play another game, and this one is the dice stack. So when I say go, they have to put the tongue depressor in between their teeth and stack as many dice as they can in 1 minute. So if we could have our timer, and hands off, on your mark, get set, go. Good. Nice. Oh, try again. Doing good. Good job. Nice. Give me a cheer. Oh. Try again. What's our time? 17 seconds. Oh. Hold it. Just hold it. What is our time? 10? 3, 2, 1. Good job. Nice job. You're done, Nolan. It's over. Good job. Very good job. All right. We're going to move on to our next game. All right.
No hands?
Okay, this next game, we're going to grab a donut, because church isn't the same without donuts, right? In the morning, leadership. So you can't use your hands, okay? So the hands behind you or beside you, and whoever can eat it fastest first is the winner. Okay, go ahead and get next to it. On your mark. Get set. Go. Wow, Dylan.
Good job, Dylan. Don't weaken, buddy. Chew it, bite it.
Don't use your hands, Tanner!
Oh my goodness.
These are some.
Behind.
Oh, come on, come on. Good job. Almost. Turn around. Oh.
You got it.
Tan's got it.
All right, good job.
Good job, you guys.
High five. Was that fun?
Finish eating your donut. Hey,
Hey,
nice
Momo.
work. Nice work.
Hey guys, I want to talk to you about a Bible story, but it is a true Bible story. Say true. They're true stories in the Word. How many of you have your Bibles on your laps? Let's see them. All right. I want you to go to Acts. If you think Acts is in the New Testament, I want you to roar like a lion. Yes. Whoa! Nice, yes. Now we're going to talk about Paul and Silas. Whoop. Have you ever heard of those two before? Yes or no? Yeah, Paul and Silas. So they were doing something really good, and then they got put in jail. Doesn't seem really fair, does it? The life isn't fair, but God is. Now I'm going to read to you out of a little kid Bible. It says, a mob quickly formed against Paul and Silas. We're in chapter 16, by the way. Verse 16 to 25-ish. A mob quickly formed against Paul and Silas, and the city officials ordered them to be stripped and beaten with wooden rods. They were severely beaten, and then they were thrown into prison. Now, some of you might think, being home right now, you feel like you're in prison, but you're not. You should be thankful and think of the good things that you have a home, that you have teachers that want you to keep learning, right? Think of the good, okay? Because Paul and Silas did. So then we're going to go back to the Bible. It says the jailer was ordered to make sure they didn't escape. He had a job to do. It was a big job. These two could not escape. But they were put in shackles. I want you to take your hands and put them on your ankles. You're shackled. Okay? Can you move your hands yet? You're still shackled. That's what it felt like to be in prison. Okay, you can sit back up. Not only that, but they were in a dungeon. A stinky, wet, could have been rats, don't want to know. But they were stuck. Say, but midnight. But midnight. Paul and Silas did something. They were praying and singing. And when you pray and sing, do others hear you, typically? Yeah. So the other prisoners were hearing this. Do you think that's something they would normally hear in prison? No. So, suddenly, there was a massive, what? Earthquake. The doors are flying open. Their chains are falling off. What did they do to cause that? They had some praise on their lips. Because they didn't have a chain around their mouth, did they? No. Our enemy is like this big. Because we can use our mouth and get rid of him. Okay? And do you ever wonder, what kind of song were they singing? Do you guys ever wonder that? I do. I wonder, what song? So at the end, we're going to share a song about saying bye-bye fear. You can't stay here because we are in God. And like Mr. Joe showed us, we have our refuge in him. We're close to him and we are safe. Psalm 91, what did he tell us to say? Lord, you are my refuge and my fortress, my God, and you I will trust, and I will not be afraid. You guys stay close to him. Praise God during this, and we will see you very soon.
We sing bye-bye fear, you can't stay here, 'cause look where I'm standing. Say bye-bye fear, you can't stay here, 'cause look where I'm standing. Say bye-bye fear, you can't stay here. Come on, 'cause look where I'm standing in your love. Bye-bye fear, you can't stay here. Come on, tell it tonight. Come on, prophetically wave bye-bye to your fear. Listen, bye-bye fear, you can't stay here. 'Cause look where I'm standing. Oh, bye-bye fear, you can't stay here. 'Cause look where I'm standing in your love. Bye-bye fear, you can't stay here. No, no, no. Look where I'm standing. Oh, bye-bye fear, you can't stay here. Come on, let's sing it one more time. Look where I'm standing. We say bye-bye fear, you can't stay here. 'Cause look where I'm standing. Bye-bye. You can't stay here. But look where I'm standing. Say bye-bye, bye-bye fear, you can't stay here. 'Cause look where I'm standing. Oh, bye-bye, you can't stay.